Welcome back to the Absolute Universe. Dear Mr. James Gunn, whenever you do a Wonder Woman movie, can you just do this? Let's take a look at Absolute Wonder Woman. Alright. Absolute Wonder Woman, The Last Amazon by Kelly Thompson. This book is awesome. And especially speaking as someone who's not a really big Wonder Woman fan, this is definitively the best Wonder Woman book I've ever read. Outside the Greg Rucka run, this is like the best. But anyway, let's get started here. So we open up here in Gateway City. And we see this pyramid is all of a sudden in the middle of the city, and a bunch of like demons come out of it. But then all of a sudden, a masked warrior comes riding down with a Pegasus, slices them up with a Buster Sword. Lands, takes off the helmet, smears blood on herself, reveals herself to be the Absolute Wonder Woman. Or as the narration here says, things every princess needs, which she was raised in hell. And that's what starts here, Absolute Wonder Woman, The Last Amazon. Part 1 of 5, which admittedly I kind of like that they actually did that they said it was part 1 of 5, just to let you know, like, oh, here's how long the story's going to be. But we do start out here in the past. Like, yes, the book is one of those books that goes back and forth between the present and the past, but, like, this story does it really well and works perfectly. It doesn't seem like it's annoying as other times that it could be. But we start here where Cersei is in hell on her own island by herself. And all of a sudden, the god Apollo shows up with a baby. She is given this baby to do with whatever she pleases, whether to take care of her or just leave it or whatever. But basically, according to Apollo, Apollo says, this baby is Diana, Princess of Themyscira. She is the last of the Amazons, and she has been taken from them and by my father Zeus as punishment for their crimes against gods. Her home is now hell. You are her warden. She may never again be reunited with her Amazon sisters, and they will be imprisoned for eternity when their services to my father ends. And you will never say the word Amazon again. So yes, as we'll see here, the word Amazon is banned, at least Cersei cannot say it. And Cersei at first is kind of like, when she's left this baby, Cersei is like, well, do I really want to take care of this baby? And again, it's a cool, interesting twist so far here to have one of Wonder Woman's biggest enemies end up becoming basically her mother. Which is a pretty cool, interesting start. It's very different from the normal universe. But then we see here that at one point the snake is gonna go attack the baby. Cersei just leaves it to see what happens. Wonder Woman slaps its mouth shut and throws it, or in the case of the comic, as it says, yeet, yeet, like Jey Uso. And Cersei decided, you know what? I think I will keep this baby. And as we see here, like, Cersei does eventually fall in love with Diana, and the two decide to form a home together in hell. But then we cut back to the present, where Diana meets with one of the U.S. soldiers who explain what exactly is going on here. And what exactly is going on here is that the main reason why Diana was sent here and why she was away from the Amazons is that the Amazons are meant to protect the above world from all these monsters and creatures. And now that the Amazons are out of the way, the monsters can attack Earth. But Wonder Woman, now knowing somewhat of her true nature, as we'll see here, she eventually does learn the word Amazon. She learns what an Amazon is. And she will decide to save the people of Earth. As we'll see more here of what her decision is and why she does that. But yeah, we get this cool moment here where also we see that she says, "For I am Diana Fairmascara, the last of the Amazons, daughter of Circe, princess of Hell, witch of the Wild Isle, and you will not have this world while I still draw breath." So that's another cool inverse with this too as well. Well, she's actually a witch, Wonder Woman. Because, of course, she was raised by Circe, who Circe is a witch herself. So she teaches her all magic, including the new versions of her whips. Like, yeah, we don't have a lasso of truth here, but we have different lassos that she uses throughout this book. But yeah, I gotta say, this is a great book with phenomenal artwork as well by, Hayden Sherman. Great artwork. And also here at one point we do get to see Steve Trevor. And we find out that in the past, Steve was actually sent to hell as well. So it is kind of similar to the original origin. Like, he's, instead of sending to Paradise Island, he's sent to hell. So that's still kind of the same here. But again, like I said, this new version is just so good that it's to the point where it's almost like too good. Where if you look at like Batman, Superman, it's kind of like, oh, these are cool, interesting takes on them. Whereas for Wonder Woman, and I feel like, and I'm not the first to say this, a lot of people said this too, like a lot of people are just like, can this just be the main Wonder Woman now? Like, that's how good this is. And how different and interesting of a take it is. And we get to see her deal with this commander as well. She basically gives him the riot act, tells him like, oh, no, this is what we're doing. Like, I don't have to save you, but I am going to save you. So you guys gotta listen to me and just deal with it. Because the other thing that's going on too is despite the fact that that she was able to take down some of those demons, that was just the beginning of this invasion. Something else is coming. We don't know what it is yet, but we're going to find out very quickly. It is death personified. It is the Tetracide. Gods protect us all. The Tetracide leaves nothing behind. So yeah, so what we find out is that the Tetracide is going to invade Earth, and specifically one of the things that it is going to do is that it is going to play a specific noise. It's going to make a specific noise, and from this noise, it's going to make everyone on Earth hypnotized, or specifically in Gateway City. But I think it's the whole Earth. They don't specify, but I'm assuming it's the whole Earth. It's going to make everyone, specifically in the city as well. It's going to make everyone in the city just be hypnotized, be drawn into the Tetracide, and the Tetracide will of course eat them and kill them. So Wonder Woman, of course, tries to first attack it with its sword and its whip, aka the sacrifice. But meanwhile, back in the past, we learn more about what's been going on in Hell as well, and getting to see Diana and Steve's relationship form. This is actually one of the things that makes her decide to want to fully become a hero and become an Amazon, one of the things she's willing to do is she believes if she's meant for these great things, the thing she must do is she must send a great man and a great hero like Steve Trevor back and get him away from hell. So she decides to make this ultimate sacrifice to make this spell to send him back. And what is the sacrifice she makes? She sacrifices her own arm, a warrior's arm. Steve, of course, doesn't realize what exactly happened here. Steve is just all of a sudden, as soon as she does it, he is sent away, and that's the end of Steve for now until they're reunited back in the present. But yeah, Cersei is not exactly thrilled with this. But one of the things we do get to find out, though, is that because she did sacrifice her arm, she does have this prosthetic arm, as well as we'll see something later that she's going to do. But at one point, also, one thing that happens is that as the Tetraside's getting closer, she's getting ready to battle again, and she does figure out a plan of what she's going to do. But before she does that, she ends up bumping into Barbara Minerva, which, of course, most fans would know as the Cheetah, but we're not there yet. But one of the things that's interesting about this is as she's running off, Barbara calls her Wonder Woman. And she's like, Wonder Woman? And Barbara explains, the Amazons, it's what they would call their champion, the absolute best of them. You are one, right? An Amazon? You know the Amazons? Because, of course, like, Diana barely knows anything because of the bad word and how Cersei can't explain it and all that. And we find out Barbara's been studying them all this time. And it's kind of funny where it's almost like Diana's basically like okay, hold that thought. Basically, it's like I need to ask you a million questions, but now is not the time. Like, I love this too, where she leaves off and she goes, I'm in the book, meaning like the phone book, and Diana goes, I do not know what that means, but I will find out. Like I said, this is a great story, and of course, at one point we do see here that Diana ends up recording, she meets up with the newscasters that have been reporting the story from the beginning, and she is using the broadcast to warn basically everyone what she's going to do. So she's going to make this spell where, so everyone hears the sound and they get the hypnotized, right? What Diana is going to do is she's going to make a spell that's going to deaf the entire city. Going to make the entire city go deaf. So everyone's going to be temporarily deaf. So it's basically her just warning and saying like, hey, look, this is going to be a temporary thing. Don't worry. Like, it's not permanent. Like, this is just something I got to do while I take care of the Tetraside. And one thing, too, is we also get to meet Anna Candy as well, who we find out in this universe she's actually also a witch as well, and Diane goes to her shop to get certain supplies for the spell. That is more common on Earth, but not so much common in Hell. Yeah, there's some cool, great moments here. But anyway, so now the whole other thing with the arm. So at one point what happens is that one other thing that Edda, Steve, and I forgot her friend's name, but hold on, let me see. Gia, excuse me. Gia decided to at one point, or Diana asks their help for one of the parts of the other spell that she has to do is she needs to quench blood on herself, so they give blood to her so she can pour on herself for this spell, which gives her right. Well, they'll show it, but basically, it's going to give her magical arm, and that's the arm with the tattoos and all that on the side there. In case you were wondering about that, yeah. So that is an enchants magical arm. Now, this part's important as well, because this is a flashback to Cersei talking to the goddess Hecate. And specifically what Hecate mentions, which is very interesting, is she says, the arc of the universe is long, and it should bend towards justice. But every chance it does, it does not. Instead, it dies smothered in the cradle over and over again. So what's interesting about that is we don't know yet. We don't know yet if that is supposedly if she's talking about the effect that Darkseid has on this Earth, on the absolute Earth. So it's changing things changing things of how things are normally supposed to go in the normal DC universe. If that's what that means, or if it's something else entirely, we don't know that yet. But that is a very interesting point. And there we go. There's our new magic arm. And one of the things that's cool too is that as the spell was working at one point, Edna wrote down to Gia that she said, "I'm gonna go out to like help people," and this before Diana and Steve showed up, and Diana was actually impressed by this. Like, really, you were gonna go out to help people? And she's like, "Yeah, it's the right thing to do. I am a private investigator after all." But then, of course, while all this is going on, as the spell's been working, the Tetraside's kind of like, why is no one coming to me? I guess I have to go to them. So the Tetraside ends up going to the city. It's actually great. Like, literally, you see Diana walk outside, you just see the city on fire, and she's like, oh, crap. Well, she doesn't say that, but that's basically what she's kind of, like, indicating. And at one point we get this great scene where she enhances her giant Buster Sword. I call it Buster Sword because it's Final Fantasy. And that's basically what it looks like to me. And then she slices up the Tetraside. However, it's not fully done yet. Because the Tetraside can reform itself, so it's weak, but it's still not defeated yet. But, of course, as usual, the military has to, get in the way. Wonder Woman's able to tell them, she basically just tells them, please stop doing that. And they're like, okay. But then we get this big final part of what happened here. What finally helps her take down the Tetraside is we get introduced to this other lasso that Cersei made for her. This lasso, specifically, what it will do is it will do what Cersei is known best to do, which is to transform. So at one point, Wonder Woman, she ends up transforming into a creature. I will say, spoilers now. She transforms into Medusa, which is awesome. Now, of course, the problem is that she does turn the Tetraside into stone. That's the good news. The bad news is that because of how powerful this lasso is and the transformation, Diana's not fully aware of what she's doing, or she kind of supposedly forgot herself, so she can't exactly transform back. So Steve, after he learns about her sacrificing her arm, seems like, well, this is the least I can do. So he blindfolds himself. He goes outside to meet her, and he reminds her of who she is. Where he goes, you must remember, you are Diana, Witch of the Wild Isle, daughter of Cersei, Diana, the last of the Amazons. And he adds this part, Wonder Woman, hero of Gateway City. And she's able to transform back, and she says to Steve, one good man can save the world, Steve. Thank you. And I love this too, where he goes, is it over? And she goes, not quite, just one more thing to do. And she flies up in the air and punches the Tetraside out. Classic Wonder Woman. And everyone's reunited, everyone's happy. And the art does end where Diana says, I am going to stay here. There are things to do. But before she can stay here, she's pulled back into the underworld by Hades. And there are a couple more issues in this collection. But guys, I feel like this book is so good, I kind of want you to check it out for yourself, that I'm going to leave it here. So yeah, Absolute Wonder Woman. I think it's a terrific job. Heyman Sherman does phenomenal art. Kelly Thompson, writing is beautiful. Love the story. And again, there are a couple other stories in here, but I didn't want to give them away. I wanted you guys to see them for yourself. But yeah, I think this is a great first arc, especially for people who are not so much into Wonder Woman like myself. I think this is a really good starting point and a really good like alternate direction to see like, oh, maybe if you're not a fan of the regular version, here's this version. And I think it's great. And like I said in the intro, I think this should be now definitively the Wonder Woman. That's how cool this story is. And I would say probably second best of the Absolute Universe behind Superman. So yeah, next up, guys, will be Absolute Martian Manhunter. I'll see you guys later. And of course, like, subscribe to the Ombuds Cafe. Talk to you guys later.
If you're looking for great deals on collected edition comics or manga, we recommend shopping at panelboundcomics.com. They offer free shipping on orders over $30, plus bundled discounts to help you save even more. And if you're shopping from Europe or the UK, comicsbugle.com offers free EU shipping and a rewards program for regular buyers. Don't forget to use our discount codes at checkout.